Hey there, welcome back. If you joined me in our last video, you know that we started talking about the CASEL social emotional learning framework and going through each of the 5 competencies that are within that framework. And so last time we talked about self-awareness, and today we're going to talk about self-management. And these two are tied really closely together. The way that I like to think about it is self-awareness is sort of like gathering up all of the tools for a project, right? And organizing them and getting them all laid out and having the plans. And then self-management is actually going through and using those tools and those plans to build something. And so we talked last time about how self-awareness is recognizing and understanding our emotions and that we have them. And then also how our emotions impact other people, the people around us. Self-management, again, it's kind of self-explanatory, is now that we recognize and understand those emotions that we're having, and maybe we have the vocabulary to express them, now we're going to express them and manage them in an appropriate way. And so again, there are lots of things that we can do to help build this skill in kids as they're kind of moving through this process. And it is a process. You have to sort of have those self-awareness skills before you can really dive in and build the self-management skills. So the first strategy that we're going to talk about, and I have a lot of YouTube videos that kind of go along with this, is teaching kids and practicing different calm down techniques. De-escalation strategies are, one of the terms that I think I've used in a lot of the other videos that we have talked about, or that I've recorded, excuse me. And so we really need to give kids a lot of these strategies so that when they're feeling these feelings, they know what to do with them. So you can look back, and I have a lot of videos with de-escalation strategies, specific strategies that you can teach to kids, different breathing techniques and noticing activities, and things like that. So you can search those and have a whole plethora of strategies to choose from. Another important strategy is that we teach kids how to use I feel statements. So an I feel statement is just that. It's saying, I feel sad when you do this thing. And the reason that I feel statements are really important is that when you're in a disagreement with somebody, or you're feeling, big emotions because of something that somebody did, it's really easy for that to kind of snowball into a big argument when you say, you did this to me. And then that person immediately goes on the defensive, right? And says, no, or I did this because you did this thing. And it just becomes this argument. It's much more difficult to argue with somebody when they use an I feel statement, because they're telling you how they feel. And we can't really argue how somebody else feels. We can't say, you don't feel that way, because it's their feeling. So by saying, I feel blank when blank. So I feel angry when you call me a name. Rather than you called me a name, and then the other person is bound to say, well, you did this first, and it's just a back and forth mess, right? So teaching kids how to use I feel statements to express their emotions. Whether you're a teacher or a parent watching this, you can set up a calm down space in your home, in your classroom, and this is a really important space to have where kids can go to just kind of decompress and process through their emotions. It's not a timeout space, unless you're using the term timeout in kind of a positive way. But we're not sending kids there because they're in trouble. We're helping kids understand that they can use this space to kind of take a minute to calm down, right? As moms, as teachers, as dads, you could maybe relate to this. Like sometimes you need to go hide in the pantry or go hide in the bathroom, right? To just kind of get away because you've reached your limit. And so that's the same thing that we're teaching kids by providing them a calm down space with maybe some different tools in it, some sensory tools, or paper if you have an artist who likes to draw or journal, music if that helps calm down your kiddo. So giving them tools in that space also to help them calm down. A couple other strategies under self-management. One we talked about last week, and that is goal setting. And so now in self-management, not only are we understanding the difference between short and long-term goals and how to set a goal, but now we're actually going to set a goal and we're going to action plan and we're going to follow through. And then lastly, is following through on our commitments. This one can be really tricky. And by this, I don't mean saying yes to everything and then never quitting anything. I mean being true to ourselves. And if we say that we're going to do this thing, understanding why it's important that we follow through. And so I know that there can be kind of a fine line with that one. But this is one that comes up a lot with kids, right? I have had this conversation with my oldest child numerous times. We sign up for basketball and it turns out he doesn't really love basketball. Well, we signed up and you have a commitment to the team and it's only, a 6-week commitment and we're going to kind of see it through. And then you don't ever have to play basketball again because that's not your thing. So just having those conversations is sort of what I mean by following through on commitments. So I hope that you got some good strategies out of this. I will be back next time and we will move into the third competency of the CASEL framework, which is social awareness. So I will see you back here next time.